Welcome to the stream.
Hello everybody in YouTube land. I wanted to do this guide because of a request from some of my followers for basic information about Rashid. Call it an introductory guide or a beginner guide to intermediate guide, but it's basically meant as a way to get people going with this character. As you no doubt know, the amount of tools that this character has in his toolkit is really pretty massive and kind of bottomless. I've been devoting the last couple years to trying to figure it out and optimize different scenarios. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to radically simplify all of this to make it easier for people who are picking up the character for the first time. And you should have enough tools here between all the things I'm going to show you to at least get you to a respectable rank if you're playing ranked. I'm thinking at least like high platinum to diamond level. And you will have a foundation to take you to master, even if the things in the video by itself, you might need to add to those over time as you get better with the character and more comfortable. So enjoy. Okay, so let's start off with some really basic stuff here. If someone's in your face with Rashid, you're close up fighting somebody, what's some basic pressure you can do that's not that complicated, that's easy to do, and that will get somebody off of you and relieve some of that pressure? Well, you know, he's got some really, really basic strings here, or combos into more damage. So, you know, if somebody's really close, something as simple as a few jabs, 2 to 3 jabs, linked directly into the light mixer is good, because if you connect on that, the throw is meaty after that, as you can see here. Right, especially if you're doing like 2 jabs, that doesn't, you know, put you out of the realm for wake up if he's going to do a jab. I got the dummy set on wake up or recovery jab. So, you know, 2 doesn't push you out of the range enough where you couldn't also do a throw after. Okay, outside of the really basic light punch, light mixer, meaty throw after, there's a couple basic setups. If you're looking to do a crouching hit, which can be useful going from sort of normal punches or attacks to a crouching, you know, obviously the meta in Street Fighter is using crouching, medium kick into stuff. If you're at a close distance, like here, let's say that you jump in and, you know, you do a couple jabs after, you can actually go for a crouching medium kick after that. Okay, so if you're close up and you're looking to mix it up, you know, outside of just the jab stuff, you can actually go for a low if they block the high. And this isn't a true block string, but it's pretty darn close. The person would have to hit a jab after blocking your jabs within less than 5 frames of blocking in order to stop the crouching medium kick. So I've got the dummy right now set on, if we take a look, delay of 5 frames for the light punch after block. You can see that it connects, right? If you change it to 4 frames to trade. So we'll set it back to 5 frames. And what you can do here is this gives you a sort of situation. You know, it could be either like a jump in into 2 jabs, or it could just be like you could use a drive rush. That's really straightforward. And so these would be the sort of ways you could try to get in and get that. So, you know, the drive rush cancel is pretty straightforward. If you can connect on that, if you hit, then it takes them to the corner and get your corner carry that way. Right, however you want to do your follow-up combo. Or you could do it off of the jump, right? You can try and do it that way. Or you could just, you know, if you just find yourself really close in front of them, the 2 jabs into it. Works pretty well. So that's just something to be aware of if you're interested as a beginner player. Crouching medium kick combos, you know, Rashid can do those, but he needs to be a little bit closer than most characters that have better range, because his crouching medium kick is not as good as some of the other characters. Okay, what else in terms of really simple stuff? You can do a drive rush into forward medium punch. That's actually going to give you really good range, because a lot of Rashid's normals are kind of stubby, like his standing medium punch, his crouching medium punch. Some of his other buttons are pretty good, like the medium kick's got good range and the heavy kick, but some of these buttons, like crouching medium, standing medium, don't have very good range. The forward medium punch is actually pretty decent, but you can't really combo off it unless it's a punish counter. So actually, if you do it with drive rush, this can set up some really good combos too. I used to try and just sort of, cancel into the light mixer and then try and go for a throw after, because that would give some more range to your normals instead of the normal standing medium, doing the forward medium. But, you still have to be really close in order to get that. And usually by the time you get about this close, people are already pushing buttons and trying to hit you. So, it just doesn't really seem to me to be that good. I think if you're at about this range, that's fairly safe. And from that range, you can go into the drive rush, forward and medium punch, and it only costs 1 bar. This is a really good thing to do if you're a new player trying to figure out Rashid. Rely on the things that he has that are safe, and it's going to protect you in matches. So I took off the block reversal. And so let's say that you connect with a drive rush forward medium punch. What could you do with that? Really, the simplest thing you could do is a couple jabs and do a light mixer after. Okay, so I've got the drive or the block reversal turned off now, and there's no auto block on. So let's say you connect on the drive rush forward and medium punch. What can you do with that after? If you're looking for just really simple pressure with Rashid, that's going to be really hard, if not impossible, to punish, you could just do a couple jabs after into a light mixer. And if you're still really close on them, depending on the spacing, you could go for a throw after that too. So something like that, but then also connecting it with the light mixer, right? You can get some decent pressure there. So that's about 7 hits. What's the actual damage? Obviously not a lot, because these are just really basic combos. But 16% is not bad for 1 bar in drive rush, and you're right in their face after too to try and do other things. For example, you go for a throw, another 12% damage, and you're talking about already a quarter of their life HP is gone. So I really can't recommend that enough with Rashid. It's all very straightforward and safe. If you want to sort of pressure even more, you can cancel after the first jab into another drive rush, and you'll be even more plus in their face, and you can just keep pressing buttons. Obviously, that's pretty costly because you're talking about 4 bars to do that, but it's also an option too. If somebody's really sort of trigger happy with their buttons and they want to push buttons all the time and mash buttons, you can do that too to sort of trick some of these people. So you can bring it into the target combo and do a bunch of other hits. And now you're up to something like 21% in full corner carry. So what I did there was just drive rush, forward medium punch, light punch, cancel into drive rush. And then I did another jab to link into the drive rush, cancel. And then I did target combo, which is medium punch, heavy kick. And then I just did a corner carry after that, something like heavy cyclone down to back and heavy punch into back and heavy kick twice can finish off your combo for you. Something like this. You're already up to 21% damage there in full corner carry. So this is like really straightforward stuff, right? If you want to get cute and do a little bit more damage and have a little more safe pressure to the corner, you can do that last one I showed you with the drive rush cancel. Or you can just keep it, really, really simple. A couple jabs and then do a light mixer and maybe go for a throw. You can't really go wrong with any of this stuff. It's all extremely safe. Drive impact. People at lower to mid levels of the game like to use drive impact a lot. You'll find that it becomes less common to do it raw as you climb ranks, and becomes harder to get away with because people are looking for it and they'll counter DI it. But it is more effective in the corner in terms of stunning them and getting a wall split and getting some damage if you can bake it into various Rashid meaties as a meaty DI. That's the kind of stuff that's a little bit more advanced. I'm not going to focus on it in this guide, but just to have it in here in your repertoire. What can you do after you do a drive impact on somebody if you are doing that? Let's put it on punish counter, which will sort of simulate if somebody pushed drive impact or and you countered it, or if they were just pushing buttons and you hit them with the drive impact, right? The simplest thing you can do with Rashid, if you want to keep it extremely simple, it's certainly not optimal, but it's the simplest thing you can do, and it's almost impossible to mess up, is just do heavy punch, quarter circle forward, heavy punch. And you're talking about around almost 25% damage. That's very straightforward, right? It's easy to do. It's not difficult. When I first started playing Rashid, I thought, oh my God, he's got so many things in his toolkit. Let's just keep it simple with the drive impact combos. And so I just did that. Outside of that, if you want a drive impact combo that would actually get you some real damage linking into a super, what you can do is something that's really not much harder. You can do is target combo, medium punch, heavy kick into an EX cyclone, which is quarter circle back and 2 punches. And then you can do the corner carry, which is forward. It sets you into the run motion and you do the kicks. So any kick button. And then you can finish off with either a heavy mixer or you can do a level 1 or a level 3. So I'll give you some examples of that. These are very, very simple, very, very straightforward things you can do to get damage off a drive impact if you want to go for more than just the meterless heavy punch, heavy mixer. So you do the target combo, EX cyclone, run into kicks, heavy mixer, and you're up to 27% damage there. You're getting a little bit more damage by using those 2 bars of meter than the 24% damage off of just the heavy punch, heavy mixer. Why would you do that for only 3% more damage? Well, you are getting the full corner carry. So that's what that's for as a new player. You could also get a little bit more cute. Instead of the heavy mixer at the end, you could do target combo, EX cyclone, run into the kicks, medium mixer into the level 1. Now you're talking about 32% damage, which is pretty good. If you want to have a level 3 stored up, the easy way to take advantage of that is to do the drive impact, target combo, the EX cyclone, the run into kicks, and just do the level 3 straight up at the end there. You're going to tack on about another 20% damage off of your 24 to 25%. And so you're talking about a good amount of damage there. 45% is not bad for a free damage after a drive impact. What about a jump attack? Let's keep it really simple here. The sort of standard bread and butter jump attack for Rashid, if you can connect, is jumping heavy kick into heavy punch into medium eagle spike. You could also do light eagle spike. There's really no reason to do that except for getting less damage unless you wanted to try and link that into a level 3. You're going to do heavy kick, heavy punch, medium spike, right? That's your B&B, bread and butter, 26.4% damage. Let's say that you did it with the light eagle spike at the end. All right, a little bit, less. Why would you do less? Like I already said, you can link that into a level 3 if you wanted to. Down, forward, of course, circle forward motion twice and any punch. And so that's not too bad. Something really simple like that. If you wanted super off of your jump end is 49% damage. Pretty good. Pretty good stuff here. I'm going to give you the really, really, really simple one here that it's almost impossible to screw up. And then I'll give you the optimal one. And you'll have a couple options here for your punish. The really simple one, a knockdown, or whenever, if somebody goes for an EXDP or whatever, you want to punish them for whatever they did. The really easy punish, and they whiffed a super or something, whatever the thing is that they messed up on. The really easy one is the one you already know. Heavy punch, heavy mixer. You're going to get almost 22% damage off of that. Is it optimal? Not at all, but it's simple, hard to screw up. If you're starting off with this character, I would just stick with that. If you want to get a little bit more cute with it, right? What could you do that's more optimal? We'll sweep, and you're going to see here, it starts with the same. It starts with the heavy punch, but then you do quarter circle back into heavy punch again, and you get the heavy cyclone. Now, this doesn't combo regularly, but it does on punish. After you do the heavy circle or the quarter circle back heavy punch, you will push forward and kick, and it will send you into a roll motion moving forward, where you can then do a heavy mixer, which is quarter circle forward and heavy punch. Why is this a little weird? Because if you're not like in the corner, if you're in the corner, it's actually really easy to get the timing on this. Heavy punch, heavy cyclone roll, heavy mixer, 29.2% damage. You don't really have to worry about the other character falling backward and you missing the heavy mixer because they're already in the corner. So, that's really just sort of free. But if you're mid-screen, you got to be a little bit more careful with this stuff because if you don't time it right, you can actually miss that heavy mixer, right? I'm not going to miss it this time. So you get the 29.2, right? But you've got to time that back, or as the character's falling back, you've got to time that just right because it's very easy to miss. For example, you don't time it well, right? That's what happens, and then you get lit up. So that's a little more complicated. It is optimal, but you've got to really make sure you're on the spot with your timing there, and you're going to actually hit that. Optimal, yeah, more difficult. You need to actually go in the lab and get the timing down for that. If you don't want to worry about that right now, and I didn't actually worry about this at all when I first started with this character, I just kept it simple. Heavy punch, heavy mixer. You're going to get your 24% damage. There's almost no chance of screwing it up. And then you move forward. Simple as that. Corner drive impact. What can you do there? Same thing. You can do the heavy punch into heavy mixer. You're still going to get your 24.4% damage. It's not optimal, obviously, but it's easy. I think that's probably the best thing that any beginner player could start with. If you want to get more complicated than that, if it's a wall splat, right? You have to make sure it's on a wall splat. Technically, the optimal combo, we'll put it on not a punish counter. This is just sort of standard. So it's just sort of standard. If you knock somebody down in the corner on a wall splat, right? You see him splat against the wall there. That's how you know you can get a combo. Takes into account the higher sort of state of the character. He's really higher up on the screen on the wall. The more optimal combo would be medium punch staggered into heavy kick, light mixer, heavy mixer. But you'll see there, sometimes it doesn't catch. Like it's the optimal combo, but sometimes because of netcode, because of a laggy connection, sometimes just the general sort of like awkwardness of this sequence. If you've got your timing down, it's really not an issue because it is your optimal drive impact punish. You're going to get 27.4% there. But if you're concerned about, again, as a new player, what if you drop some of that, then you can get lit up. Really, the simplest thing is just, again, heavy punch, heavy mixer. If you want to mix it up a little more and get a little more cute and get more than the 22.8% damage you're seeing here, this is probably the path I would suggest over the standard optimal combo we've been talking about right here. What's the alternative? That was 27.4. This one is not that much less damage. It's really, really right there, and it's actually easier to pull off. You just have to be really quick with the heavy mixer at the end. So your alternate corner combo punish damage on DI looks like this. That's the one that finishes with the heavy mixer. So you're going to do the DI, right? After the DI, you're going to do heavy punch. Immediately after hitting heavy punch, you're going to do the light version of the cyclone, right? Heavy punch, light cyclone. Okay, then you're going to push forward in any kick, and that'll send you right into what's called the rolling nail. Now, if you were to finish with that by itself, it wouldn't be that good of damage. It says 21% damage, but you've got enough time at the very end after the rolling nail to actually finish with the heavy mixer. And that's going to get you 2680. 26.8, about 27% damage. Not quite as good as the optimal version that we were just talking about, the medium punch, and then you give it a split second, do the standing heavy kick by itself, light mixer, heavy mixer. This is not quite as much damage, like 0.5% less than that combo, which is optimal. But this one, it's extremely unlikely once you get the timing down for that you're ever going to miss it. The other one is just a lot more finicky. Easy to miss in matches if someone has bad internet speed. If there's lag going on, and sometimes just the game itself is kind of clumsy when it comes to inputs. And you'll do like the light mixer in the optimal one. You'll do medium punch, heavy kick. Very easy to miss the heavy kick. It just sort of drops. You don't do it fast enough. But you'll do. Let's say that you hit on the heavy kick and you do the light mixer, and then you try to go into the heavy mixer, and sometimes it just doesn't work right. It's like the light mixer will give you 2 hits or 3 hits, and depending on how many hits it gets you, it will make you whiff and miss on the heavy mixer. So, for those kind of reasons, like there's really no reason for a beginner player or intermediate to be doing that optimal combo after DI. That thing. There's no reason to be doing that. Very, very, very minimal extra damage as compared to this. And the likelihood of landing the second one is infinitely higher. than the first because of the finickiness of the first combo. So, if you're going to do corner damage off of a corner DI, you can do that second one I mentioned there, the one that's a little bit less damage, 26.8%, or you can just keep it really simple. Heavy punch, heavy mixer. That's tried and true. It's always going to work for you. Either way, I think is good, but I wouldn't go further than this as a introductory sort of new beginner to even intermediate player with Rashid. Okay, what about mid-screen? You want to have some B&B corner carry combos with Rashid. He's well known for his excellent corner carry. We're going to keep this really, really, really simple for beginners who are just trying to figure out this character. The sequence I'm going to show you can be used at the end of it in terms of meaties in a variety of different ways to set you up for pressure without being predictable in any way. The first thing that you're going to want to do with your corner carry combo sequence is you're going to want to get good at drive rush, obviously, but drive rush into crouching light kick. Why that? Because it's so damn fast. You have to be a little bit closer. You can't be all the way back here, but I don't think you really want to be starting drive rush combos from this far back for the most part, because while they can connect, people can see them coming a mile away and they're probably going to block. It's when you start getting closer into this range right here, right, that if you can do the drive rush crouching light kick, it's so fast that it can get your combo started. Now, obviously, Capcom knows that with these lights, which is why they scale them back. But what it does is it gets you in. It gets you in, and then the extra damage that you're looking for can come on the next combo after your corner carry. So what's the simplest way to do this? If you want to use minimal amounts of meter, the price that you're going to pay is that you're going to get less corner carry. What it would look like is drive rush crouching light kick into the target combo, and you got to press the target combo fast because the light kick is so fast. And then after the target combo, medium punch hard kick, you would do a heavy cyclone, which is quarter circle back and heavy punch. And then you'd push back and heavy kick twice to finish off your combo. So it would look like this. Right? 16% damage, not great, but it is Spartan in terms of the minimal amount of drive gauge that you're using. You're only using one bar, and you've got a decent amount of corner carry, but you obviously didn't take them all the way to the corner, as you can see there. So, that's really the limit here. You're not spending a lot of drive gauge to get them there, but you're not all the way to the corner either. You're just pretty close. If you want the actual corner carry, the way that you would do this is you have to spend more drive gauge. So you would do the drive rush crouching light kick into target combo into an EX cyclone, because it's off the EX cyclone that you can link into the running kicks and then do your finisher. So if you're looking for your bread and butter Rashid corner carry combo that's going to get you in, it's going to get you in fast. It's the crouching light kick, drive rush into the target combo into the EX cyclone, and then the run kicks into a finisher. And for the finisher, you can do either a medium mixer or a heavy mixer. So it would look like this. And you're going to get about 20% damage off of that. Is that great for 4 bars? Not really. But what you're really doing there with the 4 bars is you're investing in getting them to the corner where you can pressure and harass them more. And by the time they get up, you're going to be on your way to getting back some of those bars. So yeah, that's sort of your bread and butter, take them to the corner thing. Now, what can you do with that after in terms of pressure? Well, you don't want to do the same meaty over and over and over because they're going to know very quickly what's coming. But you can mix it up. So let's say you finish with the heavy mixer, you decide you want to do that. The really simple way is to just cycle through your sequences, do this in the lab, and understand that you've got a number of different sequences here you can go for. After the heavy mixer combo finisher, so you can see there, that's your first sequence. You can do the medium kick whiff, and that sets you up for a meaty throw after. So, okay, you obviously don't do that over and over every time, because if they see the medium kick, they know that you're going to do a throw. What else can you do there to keep people sort of guessing? You can do the medium kick and walk back if you think that the person's kind of wild, and they're going to try and do an EXDP or a super, right? So let's set the training dummy on wake up, reversal, OD Shoryuken. You know, it's Ken. They like their EXDPs, right? You can do that medium kick, which makes them think that you're going to do a throw, and then you just walk back and you'll be automatically blocking. So it would look like this. Medium kick whiff, hold back. Oh, look. Now you light them up for your damage. So that's how you keep them guessing between the two. The medium kick doesn't mean that you're going to throw. It means you might throw. You might walk back and try and bait them. What else can you do here off of this? This is all baked into the same finisher here, so it's all very simple and straightforward. You can also go for a crouching medium punch after that medium kick whiff, and that will hit meaty too. Get the heavy mixer, and there you go, right? That medium punch is going to hit meaty. Crouching medium. Now that's plus. That's one of his few plus normals. And you're right in their face. So if you actually hit with the crouching medium punch, you can immediately after, if you push the button really fast, go into a standing light punch. Then after the standing light, you can go into a light mixer. You're talking about 15% damage there. Not too bad after, you know, the pressure from the corner carry combo. It's another 15%. Doesn't require any meter. And you could go for a throw after that. Let's say that, you know, the throw is meaty. So add another, on top of the 15%, another 12 if you land that. That's 27% damage plus the 20% taking him to the corner. You're up to 47%, almost 50% damage off of a very simple sequence. Is it great damage? No, but it's safe and pretty straightforward. So you can do the crouching medium after the medium kick whiff. That is another option moving forward. You can do after the heavy mixer. You can just jump, neutral jump into heavy kick, and that's going to be meaty too. I don't recommend doing that a lot. If somebody does not have a invincible reversal DP, have at it. That's going to be pretty effective. If someone does have a DP and an OD DP, not really the greatest idea, but it is an option, right? Sometimes people like to get a meaty jumping kick after a corner carry. And so that's all very straightforward. That's really baked into, you know, the standard corner carry sequence, finishing with the heavy mixer, jump, kick, right? And you can do whatever your aerial combo is after that. Anything else? Actually, yeah, let's say you want to do a DI in the corner and you want to give them more damage that way. Very specific way to do that after heavy mixer. Your heavy mixer, you do drive rush instantly into drive impact, right? Let's see that. Let's see that again. It's expensive, but it works, right? That's actually really good, the drive rush into DI, because not only does it hit meaty, but they're not going to jump out of that if you do it effectively, if you hit it on the right frame. They have to hit it on frame 1 to counter DI, and no one's going to do that. Like, unless they know you're doing it. But you could be doing anything after a drive rush in the corner after the corner carry, so they don't know you're going to do a DI. So it's actually really brutally effective. The only way they're going to get out of that is if they do like a wake up super or an EXDP or a parry, right? Any of those could get them out of it, but they're not going to throw out of it. They're not going to jump out of it. They're not going to DI out of it, most likely. So if you want to do a DI, that's probably your safest way to do it, is finish the heavy mixer, drive rush into meaty DI. Sequence is really good because what you've got now is you've got one really simple, straightforward sequence that not only takes them to the corner, but gives you a decent amount of damage with 20% damage, and gives you a large number of permutations for your sequence for the things you want to do between a jumping heavy kick for meaty after, or a throw, or a crouching medium punch, or any of the other stuff that I was showing you in terms of meaties after. You got a lot of options here, right? You've got a lot of things you can do, the meaty DI. And so, yeah, I would really just keep it that simple, right? You're going to keep them guessing in the corner if you're playing ranked matches. To have that many options after heavy mixer and just do that one sequence and just cycle through those things, you're going to keep people guessing. That's all you're really going to need, is that one sequence of corner carry. and then you can vary it in between your options after for Oki and for your meaty attacks. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to give you a couple other options in terms of corner carry and things you can do after. But these are sort of like when you get a little more comfortable with the character, you're getting to an intermediate level. There's some other options too. If you're a little bit closer to the wall, you can do that drive rush crouching leg kick into the target combo, into a heavy cyclone, into back heavy kick, and it will take them to the corner if you're already halfway to the corner. So the meterless one finishes you like that, right? If you're already halfway there. And what can you do after that if you want to do this sequence when you get a little more comfortable with the character? You feel like you're in an intermediate level. One thing you can do if you got them to the corner is you can do charge shot, and that's going to hit meaty. So you got to do it fast. Like, let's just say you're going to do a heavy charge shot after. That's going to hit meaty on wake up. And if you hit him with the heavy, any of the charge shots on wake up there, I mean, what can you do from that? You can do a light mixer enhanced. You can do more hits after that. You can do, jab and do a drive rush, cancel another jab and more combo after that. But you're going to have added pressure. If you want to keep it really simple, just do jab into, if you want to keep it really simple, you can just do jab into light mixer and go for a throw after, right? Very simple, very straightforward stuff here. But that's some really good Oki. Assuming they don't do an EXDP, then you're kind of in trouble there. What if they do an EXDP? Oh, yeah, well, actually, that's really simple. You just bait them. So you take them to the corner with this sequence. Just press it real fast and let it go. And by the time they wake up, if they're one of those people that wants to, light you up with an OD, sure you can. It's just not going to work. You just push it and don't charge it, right? They see you doing the charge, what they think is a charge shot. So if you see them do this once, you can just bait them next time. Just do the light cyclone, or not the light cyclone, the light whirlwind shot, and don't charge it. Just press it, and it looks like you're doing the charge, and then hold back, and they'll do their OD move, and then you can punish them for that. So that there's actually a way baked into that to get past some of the scrubby stuff people do on Wake Up. What else can you do with this combo sequence if you're, again, looking to move past beginner into the intermediate status? You can do 2 crouching medium punches as a frame kill into a 3rd crouching medium punch, and that actually is meaty. And after that, you can actually connect it with another standing medium punch into the target combo, which is medium punch heavy kick, which is really pretty incredible. If you think about that kind of privilege for a character, that you don't even have to use drive meter to link your buttons after that. Okay, so it would look like this if you're halfway to the corner. 1, 2, 3, that's meaty, right? The 3rd one is meaty. Now, you might say, oh, that's kind of like really predictable. Like, if people see you doing 2 crouching medium punches, why would they let you get hit with the 3rd? Good point. But there are variations on this stuff that you can do if you're an intermediate player aspiring to move into advanced rank, where people don't really know what you're actually going to do. So one simple thing you can do and sort of hope it works, because I don't think you're necessarily hoping that they're going to let you hit them on the first button, but on the second button, right? If crouching medium punch is plus, then you can push another button after, and you can press standing medium punch into target combo, and you're really hoping that you're going to hit them on that. See how that's 3 hits, right? You're plus enough after the back heavy kick combo finisher for the corner carry that you can, if you hit them on the crouching medium punch, it automatically links. You can hit them on the standing medium punch into heavy kick. What could you do after that? Well, you could do another EX Cyclone after your target combo if you want. You could just do a heavy mixer if you want to sort of finish it off. You could do a heavy eagle spike. Any of those would work. So what does that look like? Into the heavy spike like that. Into the heavy mixer like that. Even if you sort of like, jump the gun and you press heavy mixer too fast, you're still going to hit them with it. even if you don't wait to sort of do the juggle where, it's delayed. You get a little more damage that way, but, if you do it this way, it's fine too. Do something like that. Get more pressure with like an EX Cyclone into an EX Mixer. You can do a heavy Cyclone into a heavy Mixer, like a 25% damage meterless. Yeah, you got a lot of options there. So this is not bad as an intermediate player if you want to have some options. Well, okay. Well, eventually maybe people figure out you can do the crouching medium punch into the standing medium punch. They're just going to block it all. That's fine. What you can do to mix it up so they really don't know what you're going to do is after the first two crouching medium punches, 1, 2, throw is meaty. And it's free if they're going to block. So that's another thing that you can do. Or you can do a bait. Make it look like you're going to throw or do a hit and walk back. And so if they're going to try and light you up, you walk back. So you can play these little games with people, right? You've got the option of the crouching medium punch into the target combo. You've got the option of the throw after just doing 2 crouching medium punches, and you've got the option of the walk back bait. So it's not a bad little mini game to be playing with people too as you're moving into intermediate ranks and you're looking to mix it up a little bit on your meaties and your corner carry. Okay, in terms of using your super meter to do various combos, one way that you can do this not based on a drive impact, if you're just trying to land a combo on somebody, is you can whatever combo sequence you chose of the ones that I went through for mid-screen combo starters and finishers, you can just go to the end like I was showing you with the DI combo finisher. It's really the same sequence, right? When you do, for example, the heavy Cyclone into the run, into the kicks, into the medium mixer and the level 1, right? Like that can be done off of your regular sort of B&B starter combo, right? You finish up with a medium mixer into the level 1. And you're going to get 24% damage there if you do it with a crouching light kick starter. Obviously, there's scaling there because it's so easy to get in with that crouching light kick drive rush, but it's still pretty decent damage nonetheless. If you wanted to do that sequence and just do your level 1 straight up, or level 3, excuse me, you're going to get a lot of scaling there too. But again, we're talking about like the simplest, fastest, easiest ways to deliver these combos. You're up to 37.2% damage there, so that's not too bad. You can do just a running slide punch, the punches, into a level 1 or a level 3, super easy. You don't want to rely on this heavily in middle to higher ranked matches, high platinum, diamond. If you're just doing this kind of stuff over and over, people are going to know and they're just going to block low and they'll punish you. But if you're not doing it a lot, at the lower to mid ranks, like it's really easy to get a ton of damage. You just do the run into the punch, slide punches, and a level 1 gets you 25% damage like that. That's great. You run into the punches and do the level 3. That's going to get you a huge amount of damage too. This is a change, a buff to Rashid, courtesy of Season 2 Capcom. You get 40% off of that. Not too bad. Level 2. Well, it's really pretty straightforward. It's easy for beginner players to use. The simplest strategy is to just pop it, run at them, see if you can throw them once or twice. You've got enough time to throw them twice and still kick it, which is quarter circle back and any punch. You got enough time to do that. If you're lucky enough to get in 2 throws on the run after the first throw and the second, you got 12% damage, you got 24%, you kick it. If they don't block, well, if they do block, then you've just got pressure after. You can do a light mixer and pressure them because it's enhanced with the tornado. Or, if you do hit them, the thing you want to do here, and I didn't actually know this when I first started playing Rashid, is there's a specific combo that you want to do to maximize your damage. And what that combo is we'll say you do your throws, you kick it, right? EX mixer, EX sky high, heavy mixer. That's your bread and butter. Very simple, very straightforward. 38% damage, plus the 24 if you're lucky enough to get the 2 throws. You're up to 62% damage now. Pretty incredible for something that straightforward as just doing 2 throws, kicking your tornado, doing an EX mixer, which is quarter circle forward and 2 punches, doing an EX sky high after, which is quarter circle back in the air and 2 kicks, and then just doing a heavy mixer at the end. If you want to get cute, you want to mix it up a little bit, you can, if you have more super bar than just the level 2, you can kick it, EX mixer, EX sky high, medium mixer, level 1. Now you're at 45% damage. 45 plus potentially the other 12 for the second throw, which brings you up to 57 plus another 12, 69, 70% damage almost. This is crazy stuff. Like you're autopiloting here, right? As a new Rashid player, you're autopiloting. You know, he's so fast after these, with these throws. People even up to master have a hard time sometimes predicting what you're going to do there. And this is all free. I mean, just go into the lab a little bit. Just get comfortable with the sequence. And you're talking about a maximum ceiling of damage there of, 70% between the throws, the tornado hitting, and the rest of the sequence. And, you may get a lot of the time a lot less than that, which is fine too. You're still getting pressure and you still have the potential for getting throws and connecting on the rest of it. But that's really what you want to be doing as a new Rashid player. You want to be keeping it really simple like that. Just keep it that simple and don't deviate too much from that with the level 2, and you're going to see a lot of success. Bonus time. Does Rashid have defense? Yeah, it turns out he does. Obviously, outside of your basic anti-air. And actually, if you're worried about that, what is this basic anti-air? We'll set it up. So, heavy mixer. That's the one you want to do. You want to do heavy mixer. Get plenty of time to do it. Yeah, and so if you're care about defense, and you should, that's how you do that. But what other kind of stuff? We're gonna do a little swag here, simple swag. This is the bonus. Keep in mind, this is not like extra stuff you have to do. It's just for fun. What if somebody likes to run in on you, drive rush? Try and connect with some hits. We'll program Ken to do a drive rush hard punch, right? Whatever the drive rush is that people are trying to run in on you with. You don't want to be bullied, right? So what can you do there? Actually, you could do a neutral jump with Rashid into heavy kick. And then this is sort of hard stuff when people first start playing a character. But if you want to go into the lab and develop some muscle memory on this combo is free. It's a massive amount of damage. It really doesn't take much effort to do what I'm going to show you after the jumping heavy kick. Wow, look at all that damage. 52%. What is that? What did I do there? I did a jumping heavy kick into the target combo, which is medium punch heavy kick. I did an EX cyclone after. I did an EX eagle spike. And I did a light spike after that in the other direction into a level 3 because it cancels into that. So yeah, pretty straightforward stuff. Massive amount of free damage. You get 52% off of that. What if you want to keep it even simpler? You don't want to have to worry about, the side switching and are you near the right part of the screen? Are you too close to the corner? Could you miss on that second light spike? The simpler way to do this combo on defense, and you can sort of autopilot this, is you can just do the jumping heavy kick into target combo into EX Cyclone and then just do a heavy eagle spike after. It's going to shoot you all the way back, but it's going to carry them to the corner, so you're totally safe. And actually, if you run across the entire screen at that point on their wake up, you can do a meaty throw as well. And I used to do that kind of stuff and get away with it when I was playing at beginner intermediate levels too. So let's see what that might look like. Heavy kick, target combo, EX Cyclone, heavy spike, run, throw, meaty. Straightforward, simple. 12% damage on the throw. What do we get for the rest of it? Only 2 bars spent there on the EX Cyclone. You get 27% damage. That's really damn good. Probably about optimal. If you're talking about a simple punish, or you're getting into optimal territory at least. You know, the 27% with the meaty throw after, if you were lucky enough to get that, that's 39, almost 40% damage off of that sequence. So this is a nice little bonus for you to work on if you're looking for something extra, some swag. Second bit of swag. This is very easy. This is very straightforward. Get yourself at a good distance from the other player, to the point where they can't jump in on you in time. Do a light charge shot. After the light charge shot, whether it hits or not, they are in block stun at that point. If it doesn't hit and they block, but if it does hit, it's all the same way either way. You can do a drive rush into heavy kick here, right? And you'll keep the party going with your combo. So maybe they stop blocking after the charge shot, and they push a button, and then you hit them with the drive rush forward and heavy kick. Or maybe not. Maybe they keep blocking. Well, after that, you do more hits because you're plussing in their face after the drive rush forward heavy kick. You can then go into the target combo. At this point, you should have been able to hit confirm if you want to get this swaggy combo. You know, if you haven't confirmed on by the time you get to the target combo, the medium punch heavy kick, it means you should stop from that point forward and not do any more. You should just cancel the target combo directly into a light mixer, because at least you'll finish with the light mixer safe. Or you could finish after the target combo with a light cyclone, which should keep you kind of safe, but it's actually less safe than the light mixer. So, yeah. But let's say you do connect. You're really far away. Again, this is very safe stuff for the most part. You do the charge shot. You do the drive rush forward heavy kick. You'll do the target combo after. Now you're up to 6 hits, right? That's 24% damage. Where does it get swaggy? Well, it's the fireball drive rush follow that's pretty stylish. But also after the target combo, you can do a really quick whirlwind shot. You can do a really quick whirlwind shot. Right? That. If you hit on that whirlwind shot and you're really fast after, and you just do that sequence again 2 more times, like the light whirlwind shot there is just down to forward, quarter circle forward, and light kick, right? And then you do it 2 more times really fast. So you do quarter circle forward, light kick, and then do it 2 more times, and you're going to see what the swaggy combo looks like. Very simple one. Ooh, pretty shiny. Takes them all the way to the corner, 32.4% damage. It looks cool. You're launching them into the air. You're hitting them with a level 1. Very flashy, very simple stuff. You could also try and do that if they don't back rise off of a throw, because drive rush forward heavy kick is meaty. You can do it there too. You get 27%. Just a little bit of fun bonus there. The swag combo. Okay, so I hope this video was helpful for people. This is all very simple, straightforward stuff. I've run through, the basic B&B mid-screen combo for corner carry and what you can do after. Giving you a sort of second alternative after you get a little more comfortable with the character. You're looking to mix it up in terms of your corner carry with that other sequence I was showing you. There are some more advanced corner carry sequences that I'm not going to really burden new players with right now. Those 2 are more than enough to keep you busy. I would say pick which one you want, depending on how much meter you want to spend. For the intermediate one, it's just really not as good because you have to be already halfway to the corner. The other one requires more meter, the one with the EX Cyclone into the run kicks, but it is going to get you all the way to the corner and set you up for everything that you need to do. So yeah, I think that hopefully this will be helpful for people in terms of how to do basic combos, how to use his DI effectively into combos in mid-screen and corner, what his proper anti-air is, what his basic jump-in combo is, what his punish counter combo is. This is all really just sort of the basic stuff. How can you do a super from a combo? All of this stuff is really all you need to get going with this character. You don't need any more than this. Keep it simple when you get started, right? Keep it simple and work on permutations of a single combo string like I was showing you, and what you do after with regards to the meaties. Keep it real simple. Do one sequence, have a bunch of meaties that you can cycle through, and that's going to be a lot more effective in terms of a payoff than trying to do a bunch of different combo strings with different meaties, because you're just really making it too complicated. Keep it to the one sequence and whatever you want to cycle through after that in terms of meaties, because you got a bunch of choices. If you can do that and you have a basic awareness of the stuff I covered in this video, there's really no reason in a pretty short amount of time, once you got the execution down for a lot of this stuff in the training room, that you can't very quickly climb rank with this character. When I first started playing Rashid, when this game first came out in the first couple months, I really hadn't been a regular fighting game player before this since like the 90s, since Street Fighter 2. And I came back to these games. And I would say it really took me like a day after I got placed in gold to, because I didn't really know the character that well, and I didn't have anybody guiding me. It took me a day to get him to platinum. Not even, a couple hours, maybe, an hour, something like that. Doing this kind of stuff. Basic stuff like this. And then, the stuff that I've been showing you, in addition to all the different things in this video, there's really no reason you can't use all of that to get you well into not just platinum, but at least mid to high platinum and maybe even diamond if you're executing well, right? And you're playing good defense, you're reading your opponents, you're doing proper anti-airs, you're not burning yourself out. Occasionally you're doing a counter DI or something like that. Yeah. So hopefully this was helpful. Thanks everybody for watching.